Are housing prices finally going to start dropping in 2026? The video you've all been waiting for. So if you had told me in early 2022 that mortgage rates would go from sub 3% all the way to 8%, which they did, and then stay above 6% for 3 straight years, I would have said, yeah, of course they're going to come down. Well, no, because prices just kept getting higher and higher. So according to Shiller's data, it was up 6% in 2023, up 4% in 2024, and up nearly 2% so far in 2025. So let's get into this. So there are signs that pressure is building. Redfin is reporting that sellers now outnumber buyers by a sizable margin, by 36.8% in October. And check this out, even home builders can't move inventory, even when they're basically bribing buyers with 4% mortgages, okay? So the Wall Street Journal reported that the number of completed but unsold new home sales is now sitting at levels we haven't seen since the summer of 2009. So builders, they're gearing up for a big 2025 rebound, but that demand didn't show up. Now they're holding the bag. Inventory on unsold homes is climbing fast. And maybe the biggest tell, nearly 60% of houses sold in 2025 had at least one price cut, according to NAR. So if we take a look at this article from November 19th, home sellers outnumbered buyers by a record 36.8% in October. The number of buyers in the market dropped 1.7% to the lowest level on record, aside from the start of the pandemic. And then we have the strongest buyers market being in Texas and Florida, with the strongest sellers markets in the tri-state area. So if we take a look at these charts, the 36.8% figure is right here, which has been climbing steadily since basically December of 2021. So this is basically just showing anything above this black line is that there's a percentage more sellers than buyers actively in the market. And you can see it's basically been positive since October of 2023. So home buyers and sellers are both backing off. So this right here, the blue line is the sellers, the red line are the buyers. This is the estimated number of U.S. home buyers and sellers actively in the market. You can see we're basically kind of at an equilibrium here in early 2023. And then basically in February of 2024, way more sellers than buyers, and it's starting to diverge. So if we look at the 50 most populous metros, let's take a look at their median sale price year over year, the change. So the worst was Jacksonville, Florida at minus 4%. And if you look at the best in terms of median sale price, up 11.6% is Cleveland, Ohio, along with Newark, New Jersey, and Detroit, Michigan. The Milwaukee's, the Chicago's. Chicago is actually pretty interesting. I wouldn't think Chicago would actually be up, but it is because they're having a big outflow of population from there. So anyway, look at your boy, Cleveland, Ohio, coming in at 11.6%. So here's the part that most people don't realize. Home prices almost never fall nationally, okay? Historically, going back 76 years, nominal home prices have only fallen 7 times, and all 7 of those years were clustered around major financial crises. So if you take a look at the number of completed unsold new homes, this is going back to 2000, you can see right here that basically 2021, 2022 was the peak or the lowest of unsold homes, and then we're getting back to basically levels from 2009, if you will. That's where we're at right now. Now, if you look at U.S. housing prices returned since 1950, this is the point that I was trying to make, where you had the early 90s S&L savings and loan crisis, you had the 2008 great financial crisis. Even during the 1990 recession, home prices dipped just a little over 2%. There were 11 recessions in that time period, and home prices basically shrugged through most of them. So if you're waiting for a big, juicy 20, 30% nationwide crash, yeah, you might be waiting for a long time, even though I may make a video later this week on the number of unemployment and the number of planned layoffs coming up this next year. So real estate is local and some markets are correcting. So I made these videos years ago and people were like, oh, you called this correction, it never happened. Yes, it did. It happened in all the major cities, and I'll show you right here. But actually, before we get into that, let's get into today's sponsor, Fold. Most gifts lose value the second you open them. That sweater's thrown in your closet, never to be worn again. The candles are gone in a week. But this year, you can actually give someone a gift with real upside. Today's video is sponsored by Fold, and they've created the simplest, most effortless way that I've ever seen to gift Bitcoin. Here's how it works. You buy a Fold Bitcoin gift card using regular US dollars. You pick one up online at foldapp.com or even at major retailers like Kroger. It looks and feels just like any other gift card. But here's the magic. When the person you give it to downloads the Fold app, creates an account, opens the Fold app, and then activates the card, their balance then converts to Bitcoin at the current rate. It's then redeemable in the Fold app with just a few taps. That's it. You've just gifted someone Bitcoin in the most beginner-friendly way possible. And for a lot of people, this is their aha moment, the moment where they finally get exposure to the world's best performing asset without any of the friction that normally comes with it. It's simple, it's secure, it's ready to use. And if you want to give something a little different this year, something with long-term potential, this is the effortless way to give Bitcoin. To check it out, just go to foldapp.com, gift Bitcoin in minutes, buy and gift the Fold Bitcoin gift card on foldapp.com. Terms and conditions apply. So let's take a look at the markets that are correcting. So this is their basically from their peak in 2022 to October of 2025. And I'll try and zoom in here. I know it's kind of hard to read. So basically, we have Austin down 26%, Cape Coral minus 18%, New Orleans minus 14%. And here's what those cities have in common. They've had insane run-ups during 2020 to 2022. Austin and Cape Coral were up roughly 70% in 2 years. So some of this isn't a collapse, just like I've been saying. It's just gravity. It's just coming back to where it should be. Some sanity is actually returning to places where things got way overheated. So what happens in 2026? So here's my honest take. The decade has been one giant curveball. So forecasting 12 months ahead is obviously not, it's difficult, okay? Especially given planned layoffs, AI. I think AI is going to take 5 jobs for every job it creates, but that's over the course of 10, 15, 20, 25 years. But if you force me to plant a flag, my base case has always been this. Home prices, they stagnate, okay? So maybe we see flat to slightly down prices so incomes can catch up if they ever do. But if mortgage rates stay above 6%, a small correction really wouldn't shock me, okay? That's what I've been saying for a long time here. So the things that are shocking me are your Detroits, your Clevelands, your Milwaukees. These are relatively large MSAs, metropolitan statistical areas. These are places that have, I want to say solid job markets, but they have declining populations. Detroit's population has been declining. Cleveland's population has been declining over, decades. So it's kind of interesting. If you look at Columbus, Ohio, for example, they've had increase in population, and then now it's a buyer's market down there. If you look at Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, we've had declining population for 20, 30 years, but now it's a seller's market here. So it's very interesting. So the economy, I don't know if it's heading into a recession. Like I said, later this week, I'm going to come out with the video talking about all the number of planned job cuts and then also the unemployment rate as it is. But if rates fall because the economy is slowing, that doesn't help demand, okay? So are we going to see a 2008 style crash? Highly unlikely. And you know why that is? It's because everyone's loan to value right now is significantly lower than it was in 07, 08, 09, okay? And that was also very systemic. We had commercial mortgage-backed securities. We had collateralized debt obligations. We had basically investment banks betting against their own clients that the dog crap products that they're selling their own clients is going to fail. So they're selling the dog crap and betting against their own clients. So it's not as systemic as 2008 is what I'm trying to say. But the biggest age bracket, I think this is pretty interesting, right now is actually in their prime home buying years, okay? So this is people basically my age. So people want homes, they want marriages, babies, life events. They don't just stop just because rates suck, even though it does play a big factor. So while prices could dip, a full-on crash, that's a very tough argument to make. So if you take a look at this chart right here, this is 2023 U.S. population by year. The largest population group is 32 to 36 in 2024. I'm literally turning 38 years old tomorrow, okay, at the time of this recording. So I was born in December of 87. So I think that this is pretty interesting. We have the boomers kind of, I don't want to say on their way out, God forbid, my parents are boomers, but this is people right here in the late 50s, early 60s. These are the people that are still holding on to their homes, okay? Because for them, it doesn't make sense. Why would they sell their, nice McMansion or their nice house that they bought for, a couple $100,000 or $100,000, depending on where you are in the country, just to go into a much higher mortgage rate and a significantly, it's not a comparable property. Let's just be honest. The properties that they're coming out of are significantly nicer for the money than what you'd be getting on the market today, in my humble opinion. That's at least what I'm seeing in my market. So anyway, house prices, they don't fall often. It's not going to fall easily, but when they do fall, it usually takes either a major financial crisis or, huge layoffs, huge number of layoffs. Is 2026 that year? I mean, maybe, but definitely stagnation or correction, not collapse. Okay. Again, the loan to values are significantly lower than they were in 07, 08. So I would love to tell you housing would be 30% cheaper next year, but the data just doesn't support that in any way. So as always, hopefully you got value out of this video. Please share it with 12,000 friends. And as always, have a prosperous day.
Hi, I'd like to buy a house, please.
Okay, and how much do you make a year?
About $30,000.
Oh, wow. Didn't know I was talking to a high roller over here. That should be more than enough for your first home.
Hi, I'd like to buy a house, please.
Okay, how much do you make a year?
About $100,000.
Could you believe this idiot thought he could afford a house? Tune in next week to America. Go f yourself.